he's, what are they, 6'5", and then he wants to wear cowboy boots. So he's got a nice little ego, and it's not French either, but, remember French luxury. All right. I see so many friendly faces, and it's good because we come to be with all of you because you're base. We come and we're refreshed. We get our marching orders, and we have great conversation, and then we can go back out into the big bad world and be insulted and called everything but a child of God, and we come back to base again and get refreshed and go back out and fight again. And that's what we have to do. And so my fellow compadres who are on the front line with me, see, I know a little Spanish. We have Morgan was there when I was there, and then, of course, this was like 20 years ago, and of course, Rich Anderson, former delegate, he came in long after I was gone. Because see, here's the thing, I was only there for 2 years, and I learned my lesson, so I got out quick. We had some things happen in our family, and I had to move off the stage because, what is the purpose of winning the world and losing your family? It doesn't work. So you've got to take care of family first. And somebody else will step into the gap, right? So we had a good time, and now we have the newcomers, the new kid on the block, although he doesn't look like a kid, but Senator. Now, when I first was calling on him as a lieutenant governor, Senator Hackworth sits here, and, well, more like over there, and I called him the gentleman from Tazewell. Are they laughing because I said gentleman or Tazewell? No, but he's a gentleman. He's definitely a gentleman. And oh my goodness, the other side, my fellow Democrats, they don't feel she doesn't know how to say that as well. I mean, if that's the worst you could say about me, then okay, I'll take it. And that's the unfortunate thing about politics today. They hang on to the little things, when there's so much more that we can do together if we work together, I mean, we can disagree, and we're going to disagree. I don't agree with my husband 100% of the time. There he is, right there. But we don't have to be disagreeable. There is a difference. There is a difference. And I also have with me my Chief of Staff, Julian Connery. I always like to mention her because she helps me to do what needs to be done, because it's, I only get 3 staff, believe it or not. But that's as it should be, because there's only one governor at a time. And, the media will sometimes say, well, what do you think about so-and-so? And I'll say, well, the governor is planning to do X, Y, and Z, and they'll say, yes, but what do you think? And I say, we only have one governor at a time. You see what I mean? They try to drive that wedge. And for what purpose? For what purpose indeed? So, we get along very well in Richmond, as much as you can get along. There are times, unfortunately, when I look down at the senators, and I tell you, half of them I knew from 20 years ago. And some of them, they're still ornery, they're still contrary, and some of them, I just want to say, if you're happy and you know it, tell your face. Because, or maybe it's just me, that they're still getting used to, because, there is a new sheriff in town. And the deputy ain't too far. So, sometimes people say, well, what does a lieutenant governor do? And I say to them, so, my very first job is to be governor in case something happens to the governor. And so from time to time, well, no, every morning I check his medical records. And if he's well, I send him an apple or two. Some of you will get that. But then another thing, and I learned so much from when I was, the little time that I was there, when Morgan was majority whip, majority leader, and he would say sometimes, I really want to get up and say something, and he would just sort of look, you don't have to say everything. You don't have to speak all the time. And I wish sometimes some of our other folks would learn that. Sure, you have an opinion, but do you have to say everything that comes to your mind? Because as they say, sometimes that people think you're a fool, that you open your mouth and remove all doubt. Yes, applies to politics too. But what I really want to talk about, and before I go any further, so Bill Cleveland, I can't see you because the reserve sign is in front of this. So I first met Bill 20 years ago, and he liked to say we were elected at the same time. Actually, no, we were elected in 1985. I was a child then. I was a baby in arms. My first line. I wasn't a child, but I was pretty young then, and I was still in California in the Marine Corps. And yes, so do we have any service members here tonight? Would you stand up? And Army, Navy, Air Force. This one, it cuts to the heart. Do we have any Gold Star families here? Any Gold Star? Oh, thank you. The children gave the ultimate sacrifice. So it's not fun and games. And it's not that you go and you get a college degree. No, this is serious times. We thank them for giving us their lives. What they did. That's really what I want to talk about tonight. It really is no longer fun and games if it ever was. Because, men and women have actually been dying for this country ever since its birth. Benjamin Franklin, in fact, once said to his fellow revolutionaries, we either hang together or we will hang separately. And that's really what we have to be about today. Either we hang together or America will be destroyed. And I know you at home, and maybe you realize that I'm not overblowing this thing. Because think about where we are, and actually where we've come from, and finally enough of us said, enough is enough. And not necessarily the Democrats, but the ultra-left call themselves progressives. They've gone too far. And they haven't learned their lesson. But they're going to learn it again come November. When we Jen Higgins in the second. We're going to get Yes Lee in, and Hong Kong is bringing up the rear. I'm telling you, we only need, how many seats, Congressman? 5. And we're back in business. Only 5. And Virginia can bring 3. So we're going to run the show. They'll thank us later. many know my story when my dad came here in 1963, when there were true dog whistles, water hoses, we couldn't eat certain places, we couldn't drink certain places. Those things were real. Folks, it is not 1963 anymore.
That's right.
It's 1984. Think about that. Why do I say that? Because as George Orwell wrote in 1984, and actually he also wrote Animal Farm, you remember that after a while, some animals were more equal than other animals. Because that's how these revolutions go. And after a while, these revolutions, they eat each other. I mean, when I saw, you may know about the singer Macy Gray, she broke down and finally said, women are the only ones who can get pregnant. I mean, think about that. We have to say that? I thought we learned that in sex ed. I don't know. Or maybe the Bible. Male and female. Words don't mean what we thought they meant. They're telling us that they changed the meaning of words. No, there is no inflation. Think about that. But the other day, I was at Walmart, my favorite store. And I bought maybe 5 things, and I paid $40. And I looked in the cart, and I said, actually I half shouted, what did I